Let's finish with a question from the team perspective. For any organization that's turning itself around, and you use sports as a metaphor a lot, a team that starts to get its first couple victories under its belt inevitably will have a setback along the way. What does it take from a leadership perspective to prevent teams from sliding back and instead take the loss, move forward, and get right on to the next win?
Yeah, I think that as it relates to the early setbacks that come with the turnaround arc, it's inevitable. And to your point that you're going to walk out on the field, keeping with the sport metaphor, you're going to walk out on the field, you're going to win some, hopefully early, because when you win early in this turnaround context, you start to cement home that the efforts that are being made are genuinely leading toward a positive impact and effect. So hopefully you're going to win early, but inevitably you're going to face challenges. Inevitably there's going to be a setback. And the best thing that you can take from that challenge or setback, if it's a loss, whatever the case might be, is the learning opportunity. And oftentimes, you keep your fingers crossed to a certain extent, but oftentimes it bears out that you're able to accentuate a lesson that relates back to the detriment of the old culture, of what you have in the rearview mirror. So in other words, you can take the loss and really talk about the loss in the context of where we're trying to leave behind, what we're trying to leave behind, and in turn, where we're trying to go. We know we want to get out in front of something, so we're going to keep moving forward. We're going to leave this be. We're going to learn from it, and we're going to try and be better because of it. And there's just so many stories that around that topic that are so enriching and rewarding. And when you look at athletic teams or corporations that are really struggling, and then they get some early success and they sort of get this glimmer of hope that perhaps they're going to be able to move forward, and then they lose. Now there is a depression almost that sets in around, well, are we ever going to get out of this? Are we really moving in the right direction? There's almost this mystical, in like literature terms, you look at something like any journey, like larger mystical journey, even science fiction, fantasy, whatever your genre. And J.R.R. Tolkien made a living around this. The hobbits get to a certain point, and then boom, the bridge falls out from under them, and there's just inevitable doom. But Gandalf is there, and they're going to keep marching regardless, and there's going to be another challenge, and so on and so forth. But they just keep moving forward. And I think it's interesting, a high school coach of an incredibly successful program nationally, he's an assistant high school coach, once told me, and it stays with me, our season is going to be defined by how we handle the inevitable challenge. So I think that there's a nugget of insight and truth in that for any organization, any team. We're defined by how we handle and overcome adversity. And when we see adversity coming at us, to a certain extent, those are goosebump, exciting moments, because now this is a chance to really define ourselves. Now this is a chance for us to really see what we're made of and what our mettle is. And if we're really a championship team, or we're really going to turn ourselves around, so to speak, then we're going to keep going, and we're not going to get too beat up about the negatives that you can spin around that, because we've got a bigger mission in mind.
Dan Lytle, thank you.
Thanks so much, Eric. We really appreciate it. Thanks.